Hello friends and welcome back to my channel, Ever Evolving Emily. I am Emily. Today we're going to be diving in a little bit deeper. I just did a video on my first steps towards self-love. And today we're going to be diving just a little bit deeper into self-concept work, how I got started, and all the things I truly, truly love about doing that inner work so that it is reflected in my 3D. It's amazing. If you've never done it, we're going to dive in. So about, I don't know, maybe like a year or two ago, I started to come across things on Pinterest that really, really resonated with me. I wanted to learn about manifestation and I wanted to learn, just I have such big dreams and goals and desires that were and are on my heart. And I just felt like, how am I going to get there? How am I, in the current space that I was living in, how am I going to get there? And I'm still working on shifting many things within myself. So I am definitely a bit of a work in progress as we speak, but I feel really good about where I am currently and, how I shifted. How did I do this work? And I can take credit for doing the work myself, but I cannot take credit from some amazing teachers that I came across on YouTube and other platforms that really guided me along the way. So the first person I came across, her name is Flora. You've probably seen her on maybe Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram. So I found Flora and she has what's called the Self-Concept Mastery Academy, which I was a part of for quite some time. I don't know, 6 months to a year. I wanted to change so much from within. And this concept of like when you change yourself from within, it's going to be reflected to you in your reality. It's going to be reflected to you in your 3D. So first things first is like I think I did. I wasn't afraid to invest in myself. So I have paid for some things that I knowledge like I really wanted to learn, courses, things like that. I wasn't afraid to spend some money and invest in myself because, like I said, the desire to change on my heart was so big. And I felt like, where am I going to learn this? How am I going to learn it? And maybe I've read so many books, but I wanted this information from somewhere else. So anyway, so she was like the first person I came across. That I think led me to discovering Dylan James. Oh, Dylan, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Dylan's channel is so amazing when it comes to, you know, understanding that life doesn't happen to you, it happens through you and through your experience. And like, so hearing a couple of teachers talk about like, you're the creator of your reality, you're the creator. And if you're the creator, you're the operant power. All this stuff was like, I remember reading it or like listening to it and my brain was just all the time, just, oh, right. Like I am the creator. I'm the creator of my reality. So I just knew, why did I want to do this work? Because I had a lot of anxiety. I had a lot of anxiety around love. I had a lot of like, I felt like maybe like when it came to relationships, like hot and cold, I was receiving a lot of hot and cold, but I was also in reflection being very hot and cold with how I was treating myself and how I felt about myself. So I really wanted to learn about love. and manifesting money, manifesting abundance, manifesting, anything. And like, I didn't know that many years ago and we are constantly manifesting. So I didn't know many years ago that I had manifested so many things. I manifested myself, being in really great shape. Then I manifested myself taking acting classes in Los Angeles, living in LA. There were so many things that I manifested that I didn't know I was manifesting. So, but when it came to love or, relationships, I just had this question, which was kind of like, why do I keep experiencing um, hot and cold love, undesirable circumstances? Mm, why am I continuing to experience this stuff? I realized that the common denominator in all my relationships was me. It wasn't even necessarily about love, or like a romantic relationship. Maybe it was really, fights with family that I was getting into. For myself, I just had so many questions and I just wanted to know why. And then, to understand that I am the common denominator in what is happening around me. I'm the common denominator. There's nothing to change but self, and, be the change that you wish to experience. I wanted to be the change you wish to see in the world. That which in you heal in yourself, you heal in the world. Because I had so much anxiety about love and being in a relationship, being in a healthy relationship, on a consistent basis, knowing I was deserving of a healthy relationship. I had so much anxiety about love in general, just anxiety about life in general. But I had a lot of anxiety about love. And when I heard Dylan say, love is secure, love is trust, love is, stable, it was like I really needed love for dummies. you know, when I had experienced, or like maybe on a regular basis, I put a lot of men on pedestals. Yes, I did. It wasn't like it wasn't on purpose. It was just not having my belief system in alignment, not having my concept in alignment, you know, thinking everybody else in the world, everyone is better than me and more worthy of me and deserve. Yuck. I don't even like to say those statements out loud anymore because I've shifted so much. So that to me is uck, yick, gross, not for me. But when it was explained to me repeatedly that love is stable, love is kind, love is forgiving, love is compassionate, love is patient, love is, just consistent. It's like we can think about Corinthians, right? Like, love is stable, love is kind, it doesn't boast, it's not jealous, it's not anger, it's not angry. That's love. And so if you want to experience love in the world, I'm not even talking about necessarily only strictly from like a romantic place. If you want to experience love in the world, that is love. If you want to experience love in a romantic relationship, I feel like a healthy love, that's love. Not anxiety and putting someone on a pedestal and when are they going to call me and why haven't they, that I'm not saying we don't wonder some of those things, but I mean on a consistent basis, again, more often than not, being relaxed, being chill within yourself, loving yourself, smiling at yourself, knowing you're worthy because you are. That's love. And I've experienced this when I've really shown myself that love, it's just reflected back to me. I really didn't know how to be whole within myself. I just didn't know how to be whole. I didn't know how to say that to myself, or I just didn't know. Flora was the first like influencer, I guess, if you will, who when I started doing the Self-Concept Mastery Academy, I think that's where I learned about mirror work. I think I had heard of it, but I never really did it. So this concept of like really learning to love myself and doing this work, which meant looking at myself in the mirror on a consistent basis, morning and evening, or morning, afternoon, evening. This work of like looking at yourself in the mirror, staring into your left eye, telling yourself you love yourself. That was, I remember the first few times I did it. One, I started to laugh, and two, then I started to cry, because it's like my whole body and feeling that love. It was, you just feel, I just, like I cried, because I think I really needed to hear, I love you. And we expect maybe to hear this from so many outside sources, but it's amazing when you start to tell yourself you love yourself on a regular basis. When you look in the mirror, and you just literally stare at yourself for like 3 to 5 minutes and say, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. House of Vibrations, Bobby teaches it like, love yourself like your life depends on it. Love yourself like your life depends on it. I'm in a phase in my life where I'm making changes, but the only way to make changes is to love yourself first. I think that's, any vices you're looking to get rid of, any self-sabotage, stuff I'm going to talk about later. I think self-love is the answer. And so when it came to doing the mirror work, I first started, staring at myself in the mirror, kind of getting close to the mirror. I purchased like a really decent mirror with the LED, light around it. And I literally will, one of the things I've incorporated into my morning routine is looking at myself in the mirror and telling myself I love myself. Telling myself I love myself. I love myself. I love you. I trust you. You are worthy. You're valuable. You are deserving. I am grateful. Saying I am statements. I am worthy. I am perfect health. I am magnetic. That's a good one. So doing the mirror work, but literally one of the big ones I say repeatedly is, I love you. I love you. When I first started doing that, I could feel a shift within my energy. And the shift went from, like, the first couple times I remember kind of laughing. And then I started to cry, because it had been so long since I told myself I love you. It had been so long, like, since I, really felt that. And so, with my fitness journey, especially, like, I'm trying to make changes within myself. And, you know, the only way to really make changes is like when you love what you are right now, you're going to be able to shift. It's just like being grateful for the job that you have right now, so that you're super grateful for the next job opportunity that comes along for you. If you want more money, being grateful and for, having gratitude for everything that you have right now, so that, it can flow to you that much easier. So that for me, mirror work, number one, such a great thing to incorporate in your morning routine, in your evening routine. before you go to bed, loving yourself, trusting yourself, Dylan's channel, like there, this is what I mean, like, and I've watched Amanda Francis too when it comes to money, but I learned so much and I keep learning. But in order for my life to shift and change, I knew that I needed to shift and change my identity, my self concept, who I believed myself to be. I realized I didn't have a solid belief system about myself. I didn't have a solid foundation about myself. I think even in therapy, my therapist one time asked me, like, do you know your beliefs? Do you know your values? And I didn't. And also I had to know that I had to trust myself over everybody else as well. Sometimes, like, if you don't know your belief system, you might believe what everybody else says about you. What do you say about you? I watched this, listened to this amazing video on above inspiration. And this particular video talked about change. I'm going to try to find it and I'll link it below. And in a nutshell, this video talked about, like, you will not be defeated by what other people say about you. You will be defeated by what you say about you. I mean, I just get goosebumps thinking about that statement. So know what you believe about yourself. I had to literally completely transform, flip the script, because I didn't want to identify as that previous version of myself. I wanted to identify as this version of myself. I had this concept going on because I'm a very nice person. I consider myself to be like a really kind individual, and sometimes that meant I was a doormat. And I also felt like Emily is someone who, like, is so kind and she just churns butter on the prairie. I really wanted to shift from that version, and so I take that version of myself and I send that version of myself love, and I just send her love, and I say, I became really observant when that version of myself, it's the version of myself doesn't have confidence, doesn't have love, doesn't have self-worth. That version of myself, I send her love. And then I choose to, like, dismiss it, and I choose to identify with this version of myself. House of Vibrations talks about, like, repetition dissolves disbelief. So, like, the more times you have this particular loop on tape in your mind, the more you will actually believe it. So know your belief system. Like, for me, that was a really big one, learning my belief system. I am, and, like, what is love within that? I wanted to become a really secure individual so that no matter what happens around me, I'm stable within myself. Again, I'm going to repeat that. I wanted to become a very secure, stable human being so that no matter circumstances don't mean shit. So, like, no matter what happened around me, I wanted to be unshakable, unbothered by it, non-reactive. Non-reactive was a big one for me. I wanted to be non-reactive to everything that was happening around me. In yoga, we say, we talk about, like, I remember talking about with my teacher, or, like, listening to him say, response versus reaction. It's amazing what you'll experience in your life if you just stop reacting. Stop reacting to stuff. See what happens. See how that feels. If somebody upsets you, what if you just, like, don't react to that, or don't respond to that? So know your belief system about yourself. My belief system shifted so dramatically. And many people were like, what are you doing? What is it that you're doing? I decided, I made a choice, and I continue to make this choice. I am worthy, I am deserving, I am stable, I am kind, I love myself, I trust myself. I trust myself is a big one. I trust myself. I trust that everything is, coming to me in the most divine timing. The list kind of goes on, but know I'm confident. That's a big one. I'm confident. I'm confident within myself. So know your belief system about yourself. That is just knowing my own belief system made me really unshakable, because the other thing is too is like, if when we're talking about manifestation and like wanting to manifest things into your life, I knew that, and I know that basically I was having trouble with things flowing to me, or I was having trouble manifesting things simply because I was not in alignment with my self-concept. I was not in alignment with my self-concept. Now I am in alignment with my self-concept. So that in itself is such an amazing feeling when you can believe on a consistent and regular basis. I'm not saying I don't have moments of self-doubt, but what I'm saying is when that happens, my awareness immediately, it's like, nope, I don't believe that. That is not truth. That is not my truth. So also that's gonna I'm just gonna plant this little seed too, which is like, if you've ever been bullied, if you've ever I felt like I was my own worst bully because I was so fucking mean to myself. I was so mean to myself. Ugh. But also, if you've ever had people say really mean things to you, and I have experienced this. I did a lot of customer service in my life, but regardless, sometimes people you love say things that might hurt you. And upon reflection, I looked back and I said to myself, this was such a great aha moment. Why am I accepting these statements as truth for me? Why was I accepting it as true? When people say things, and I'm not going to say I've never said anything that I don't regret. Of course I have. But when people were mean to me, and it has happened, people said some really mean, cruel things to me in my life. Why was I accepting those statements as true? So when people say mean things to you, they're usually projecting. I might save this for an entirely different video, but like I've had this thought, like, wish I had been a little more sticks and stones about it, like, not to sound childish, but sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. So if someone calls you a name, or if you get rejected, someone tells you no, why are you accepting that as truth for yourself? I've been rejected a lot, so, in life in general, and okay. So I'm being rejected. Okay. It felt really good to me to actually like roll with that punch versus fighting it. And then also this realization of, why am I accepting what someone else says about me as truth? So know your belief system about yourself. If people say something that's mean to you, decide for yourself whether it's true or not. Decide for yourself whether that's your truth. Decide. You get to choose what you accept as truth for yourself. And so when people say mean things to you, usually they're projecting, or if they don't believe in you, or if they start to, and this is why I've started to keep a lot of dreams, things I want, desires on my heart to myself. Because unfortunately, like, I have experienced times in my life where maybe I shared things and then, why would you want to do that, Emily? That's not a good idea. I don't think that's for you. Do you think you could do that? Unfortunately, sometimes people, who really love you, they might not believe in your dream. They might not believe in you to be able to achieve your dream. So just know your belief system. It's a practice. I'm continuing to do this work and shifting my identity and like my identity within myself, within myself, the identity that, my belief system of who I am within myself. All these statements like I am worthy, I'm deserving, I'm whole, I am loved, I'm secure. So especially when I had so much anxiety around love and I didn't know I had, which I've pretty much fixed or like continue to work on. I had real anxious attachment style because of insecurities, so it's okay. Like if you've had insecurities, that's okay. I think it's human to have insecurities, but again, I think it's so important to know your value, know your value, know your worth, know you're deserving. You are worthy simply because you are. And that to me too was another one where I was like, really? I'm worthy just because? Yep. I'm worthy just because. Just because. So do the mirror work, know your belief system about yourself, become unshakable, have all of your like lists of I am affirmations. I think that how to, especially when it comes to love, manifesting love, or like a big topic is SP, your SP. I think it's really amazing to be in alignment with your self concept. And then just chill, like detach from it, and know that ask, believe, receive. That's a totally different video I'm going to talk about because I had a lot of trouble believing. And because I had so much trouble believing, I had trouble receiving. The next thing I want to talk about is your nighttime routine and sleep affirmations. So I do use sleep affirmations. I use them often. If I don't do sleep affirmations, I do that or like high frequency, maybe a high frequency healing, sound music while I sleep. Or it's also like I was blessed with the ability to really visualize. So maybe I'm visualizing manifestation, Neville Goddard techniques, stuff like that. So I'm really, working on that. But I do feel like doing affirmations for 21 days, just amazing. Such an amazing experience because what starts to happen is like you're setting yourself conscience, setting yourself your subconscious. You're setting yourself up. You're setting yourself up from the night before. Also, this is a big one, putting your heart in a state of gratitude, writing out 5 to 10 things that you're grateful for at night. When I attempt to write out a list of 3 things, it usually turns into 50. Like the gratitude that I feel often in my life, sometimes I'll just cry because I just feel grateful all the time. And also, I think I've watched a lot of Joe Dispenza and Wayne Dyer. And when we put our heart in a space and in a state of gratitude, the feeling of being grateful is so healing. and they talk about it. So I'll let you, if you want to look up that kind of thing. Putting your heart in a state of gratitude the night before will set your next day up for so much success. It will just it will help you. So when I wake up in the morning, sometimes my morning is really tough. Like even today, sadly, like I didn't wake up today with the best feeling, and I didn't wake up, just right off the bat. I had to like really work at changing my energy. So I did another video specifically on how to change your energy in the morning, but it's not always perfect. Sometimes we wake up on the wrong side of the bed, but like you want to have a better day. If you're wanting to bring things into your life, the path is joy. The path is gratitude, being grateful for what you have now and for where you are right now, and knowing that it's all shifting and changing. So the nighttime affirmations are a big one for me. I did really love doing Dylan James's, I think it's called Limitless Manifester, something like that. I also really liked House of Vibrations, has a really good couple of ones for 8 hours. And then I've done some Amanda Francis. I think I did Amanda Francis before I did any of this stuff, but the sleep affirmations gave my brain a break. It really helped to give me and my brain a break at night. Many years ago, I used to have what I called like insecurity dreams. I called them that. That was my name for them. And it wasn't like a nightmare where I missed my flight. It was usually just a bad dream where I was rejected, and I was usually rejected by somebody I really liked. But in the dream, a lot of times I was rejected, and it might be about the same person, or something I wanted to experience, but that was unpleasant. But Dylan explains it like your body is like you're getting rid of your, how did he say it? Like your dream is what was manifested, so that it's not manifesting in your reality. I get it. This stuff's kind of trippy, but I understood it, like when he explains it. And I was like, oh, this is why I'm having so many dreams of someone rejecting me. It was really because my belief system wasn't in alignment with my self-concept, and it really, underneath it all, the root of these dreams I had, was literally I was unworthy. I felt so unworthy. It's really sad, and I'm sad that that was how I felt, but really, maybe I'm grateful too, because I learned that was something I had to really learn. And I woke up so many times with the same dream on repeat. And maybe you went through your own trauma, and you're going through a divorce, or you're going through a really hard time, or you just had your heart broken. Usually when I've had a broken heart, whether that was over a relationship or just my life in general, I would have these dreams. So I call these insecurity dreams. And maybe you have stress dreams where like bad things happen. We'll just say that. It's going to be really broad, but I was so tired of having these dreams, and I wanted to know, like, why was I having these dreams all the time? Oh, because deep down, unfortunately, like, I had this sense of unworthiness going on. Unworthiness, I'm not deserving, blah, blah, blah. So the sleep affirmations for me, they really help me. Sometimes I use headphones, sometimes I don't, but like my volume's on low. I say, yes, there's no shortage of you on YouTube right now. There's just not, of wonderful, amazing content to sleep to. I felt like the sleep affirmations, especially the ones from Dylan James, and and also the ones that Bobby posts on House of Vibrations. Those were some amazing, amazing things for me, tools in my toolbox for me to use, because again, it's like you're slowly. Then I wasn't just brainwashing myself during the day, I was brainwashing myself at night to believe. And so I wanted to shift my identity. I wanted to become the vision, and I'm still working on it. I know I'm getting closer and closer all the time. I wanted to be this vision that I had for myself. I have a specific vision, physically, mentally, emotionally, of the person that I really want to be on a consistent basis. And the only way I was going to do that was to stop being this version of myself and to slowly but surely, more and more and more and more, choose myself over everything else, choose myself over all the bullshit, and choose myself on a regular basis, and believe more often than not that I am this person now. I am this person. So if I want to be like really in shape, am I going to the gym more often? Am I really focused on my nutrition? If I want to, whatever you want to manifest and bring into your life, being that version of yourself more than being the old version. Stepping into, for me, I just really wanted to step into that version of myself instead of the version of myself that doesn't believe in myself. Ick, yuck. I don't like it. In yoga, like we talk about giving up what no longer serves you. Maybe it's your old belief system about yourself. That's what it was for me. My old belief system about myself, being a doormat sometimes, that was another one for me. That's still one for me. Because I try to be so kind and forgiving, sometimes I've been treated like a doormat. That is like probably a whole nother video, but allowing people to walk on me, allowing people to mistreat me. There's this great saying, do no harm, but take no shit. So don't do, as long as you're not doing any harm to anybody else, never doing harm to another human being, doing your best not to harm anyone else with words, actions, what you say. Do no harm, but take no shit. So having boundaries, having healthy boundaries for yourself, knowing your value, knowing your own values, knowing your boundaries. These are all things that I've had to work on and continue to work on. One of the last things I want to mention, with all this work that I did, maybe I did mention this previously, but with all of the work that I did, I think one of the first big steps I also took was just, I just stopped giving a fuck about what anybody else thought about me. I just stopped caring about what other people might say about me, what other people might think about me, what they feel about me. I just stopped giving a fuck about it. And maybe too, that's like the beauty of age, or wisdom comes with age. So being careful of your words. Some people, as we age, we say, ugh, I'm so old, I'm so this, I'm so that. No, that is fucking bullshit. I I I choose to stay young at heart. Age is a number to me. I'm not saying there's not different challenges that come with, getting older, but your words are so powerful. Anyway, that's a separate tangent. But I think when I finally realized, because I had experienced this too on and off, I just stopped caring, you know. Um, and I decided that as long as I wasn't doing harm to anybody else, I don't need anyone's approval, validation, love. I may want those things. I may want them, but I don't need them. You don't need approval. You don't need validation. You don't need a million likes on Instagram. You don't need it. You may want it. It feels good, but really the most important is that it's coming from yourself. And that has a lot of pros to it. Like when you realize you don't need anyone else's approval or validation, anyone. Like for me, I used to say the only approval and validation and love I need is from God. That's it. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you don't like what I'm doing. I'm sorry. That's how you feel. Just stop reacting to it. Don't react to it. You don't have to. When you realize the only validation and love you need is really from yourself, there's so much freedom. There's so much freedom within that. So, just to recap all my first steps with self concept work, shifting my belief system and my identity within myself. I do the mirror work. I do the mirror work on a consistent basis. I have rampages that I will say to myself in the car. That's something I'll give an example of later. But mirror work, self-talk, self-love, know your belief system, do the nighttime affirmations, do them. It's amazing. And then also just know that you don't need anyone else's validation. You don't need anybody else's approval. You don't. You are worthy. You are deserving. You're worthy. You're deserving just because you are. And so know that about yourself. I trust that this video helped you, and there's going to be more to come on self-concept and manifestation. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I trust that this video planted some seeds and helped you on your way, on your path, on your journey. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Namaste.